When we look, you can see families were more than willing to go to the box office to support something like the Minecraft movie, while Rachel Zegler's Snow White continues to plunge.
I don't think they're gonna buy it. I don't think they're gonna watch it. I don't think they're gonna like it.
Minecraft in the United States in one weekend made more money than Snow White has made globally after 3 weekends. That's how bad it is right now.
She's literally the only person there. And do you not understand how humiliating this is? Meanwhile, the experience at Minecraft goes something like this.
This is it. Chicken joe.
I never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have. I can also be having the greatest time and simultaneously wishing people would stop sending me death threats.
Every single one of these reviews is just absolutely brutal. And what you also need to know is that these are not politically driven reviews. I mean, most of them are from the camp that should be supporting Disney, that should be behind this new progressive take on Snow White, and yet they can't because the film is apparently just that bad.
There's no way that Snow White is going to recover.
Warner Brothers' Minecraft movie versus Disney's Snow White, which in theory should be quite a battle, but it's not even a fair fight. And it's pretty hysterical, actually, to watch.
Now, there is no doubt about it that Snow White 2025 is considered by far one of the worst box office failures, not just with Disney, but also in the entire film history when it comes down to live-action remakes.
We're talking about ultra-far leftists, people who believe that men and women are a figment of your imagination, that your money is not your own, that your family is not your own, and that your country is not your own. That's what woke me.
Rachel Zegler is a loudmouth bill.
Snow White, of course, famously played by the insufferable girl boss narcissist who's just clinical at this point.
What they really mean is they're describing a worldview that hates you. That hates everything America stands for.
DC said Disney Snow White has a major identity crisis.
But it says, meanwhile, over in the kingdom of crumbling crowns, Disney Snow White dropped like an enchanted apple.
Saying that audiences will always line up to see her no matter what she does.
Every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
You know what's interesting about all this is that the only person waiting in line to see Snow White was Rachel Zegler.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
Well, we all basically knew that Snow White was going to be a massive failure at the box office because of Rachel Zegler's controversial statement.
She doesn't need a prince to save her, and not surrounded by 7 weird people. Oh, okay, just CGI fictional goblins, I guess.
One Rachel Zegler had already faced more criticism than anyone anticipated for a Disney princess. But when the Minecraft movie premiered, the situation escalated from messy to downright disastrous.
It got destroyed at the box office. Here's the box office numbers. The Minecraft movie made $60 million on Saturday. Snow White made $2.
On opening weekend, Minecraft crushed the competition with a staggering $300 million worldwide debut. Meanwhile, Snow White struggled to gain momentum, barely surpassing $77 million after several weeks.
Turned over $157 million while earning another $144 million internationally. The Minecraft video game was introduced in 2011 and sold more than 300 million copies. So it actually has a fan base, user base, people that care about it. In theory, Snow White should as well. Snow White's the movie that made Disney, the studio. They should have been more cautious and careful with their own IP. It's a $1 billion IP. Disney Snow White, faithfully adapted, would have made a...
The contrast couldn't have been more humiliating. It was the kind of moment that silenced industry analysts and sent Rachel's online critics into a frenzy of laughter. Rumors began to spread that Zegler, blindsided by the devastating comparison, had broken down behind the scenes. She had aimed to deliver a modern feminist fairy tale, only to be steamrolled by a world of pixelated blocks. Clip the experts hadn't seen it coming. Critics wrote off Minecraft as too basic, too niche, too much like a child's YouTube stream to succeed as a real movie. What they overlooked was just how deeply the game had embedded itself in pop culture. Since 2011, kids, teens, and adults had been building empires in Minecraft. It carried nostalgia. It had charm. It boasted a passionate fan base, and most importantly, it offered something Snow White didn't: fun. Families showed up in droves. Teens cheered in theaters. Social media exploded with fan edits and memes celebrating the unexpected hit. Minecraft wasn't just a movie, it became a cultural phenomenon. Meanwhile, Snow White turned into a punchline. Rachel Zegler didn't do herself any favors. Her press tour quickly derailed as soon as she opened her mouth.
People are like, oh wow, Snow White flopped. Who is surprised? You cast arguably the least genuine, most out of touch, and disliked person in her industry, and her industry is Hollywood. And the bad guy is Gal Gadot.
Clips of her dismissing the original Snow White as weird and labeling the prince a stalker were bad enough. But the backlash didn't end there. She openly ridiculed love stories, rolled her eyes at the fairy tale format, and proudly claimed the remake had tossed out all that outdated stuff. It wasn't just tone deaf. It was infuriating to generations who grew up loving the original. Disney fans weren't asking for a lecture. They wanted magic. Instead, Rachel came off like a guest lecturer in a film theory class, trying to rewrite cinema history. Disney, in typical corporate fashion, said nothing. No damage control. No PR tightening. No accountability. They handed Rachel the microphone and walked away. Rather than steering the narrative or clarifying the film's intentions, they let her ramble on, and the more she spoke, the worse it got. Her now infamous comment about deserving royalties every time someone streams the movie turned into viral fodder. She sounded entitled, detached, oblivious to how fragile her rising stardom was. The backlash intensified. Clips of her awkward interviews flooded YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, everywhere. Still, Disney stayed silent. That silence only fanned the flames. Fans started wondering, did Disney even believe in this film anymore? People weren't just angry, they were confused. Who was this new Snow White for? The prince was gone. The dwarfs erased. The romance scrapped. In their place was a sanitized, neutered version of a tale that once enchanted the world. Gone were the whimsy, innocence, and wonder. What remained felt like an after-school special, unsure whether it was proud of its heritage or embarrassed by it. By the time Snow White hit theaters, the damage was irreversible. The backlash went beyond social media snark. It became a cultural rejection. Families stayed home. Moviegoers skipped it without a second thought. When the numbers came in, the failure was undeniable. In an era where legacy remakes routinely pull close to $1 billion, Snow White couldn't even break $100 million in its opening weeks. Meanwhile, Minecraft proved that simplicity, sincerity, and joy still win. This wasn't just a box office beatdown, it was a referendum, a clear message from audiences: respect the classics or risk irrelevance. Rachel Zegler's name was on the marquee, but it was her words, Disney's silence, and the total rewrite of a beloved story that doomed Snow White before the first ticket sold. Inside Disney's offices, whispers paint a picture of chaos, boardroom tension, script turmoil, and a creative team at odds over vision. What started as a straightforward live-action remake twisted into something barely recognizable. The script reportedly went through multiple rewrites, each one drifting further from the original charm and emotional simplicity that made Snow White a classic. Instead of embracing the tale's whimsy and innocence, the team jammed in clumsy contemporary social messages. The final screenplay felt less like a fairy tale and more like a series of TED Talks with a magic mirror thrown in. Fans hadn't come to be lectured, they wanted to feel. Instead, they left confused, frustrated, and deeply underwhelmed. As Snow White flopped, another film was doing the exact opposite. Minecraft, the one based on the blocky video game, stormed into theaters with the energy of a pop concert. Jack Black lent his voice and brought his signature humor, charm, and timing. Families flocked to theaters, laughing, cheering, even dressing up. Teens documented the experience on social media, sharing memes, reenacting scenes, and posting videos of packed theaters where kids danced in the aisles. It was pure, unfiltered joy, the kind of movie magic people fell in love with in the first place. Critics scoffed, calling Minecraft juvenile and low effort. Audiences didn't care. It was fun, accessible, unapologetically itself, the crowd pleaser Disney once knew how to make. Meanwhile, Rachel's public image took hit after hit. She didn't write or direct the movie, But in the court of public opinion, she became the face of its failure. Her quotes were clipped into viral montages. Her interview expressions became memes. Her rants were dissected, often harshly, across every platform. Her dismissive tone toward the original Snow White rubbed even sympathetic viewers the wrong way. Rachel may have wanted to champion a modern, empowered heroine, but her delivery, tone, and timing made her the perfect scapegoat. Suddenly, every frustration with Disney's new direction had a face, and unfortunately, it was hers. The casting choice stirred controversy, too. Snow White, famously described as having skin as white as snow, was now played by a Colombian-American actress. Supporters praised the move as inclusive and reflective of modern audiences. Critics, however, accused Disney of rewriting lore for optics. This wasn't just a story update. It felt like cultural history being rewritten. Every article, every clip sparked heated debate online. Instead of uniting audiences, the controversy further divided them. Not because of who Rachel is, but because of how the message was handled. At the storm center was Disney, a company once intimately familiar with its audience. But after multiple box office flops and PR missteps, the brand now feels disconnected from its own identity. Snow White wasn't just a failed movie. It was a red flag. A moment that made people ask, does Disney even understand Disney anymore? Fans weren't just disappointed in one film, they were disillusioned with a company they'd trusted for decades. For years, Disney sold magic. With Snow White, they sold a lecture, and then acted shocked when no one showed up. Meanwhile, Minecraft embraced fun and delivered on its promise. Its success wasn't just financial, it was philosophical. In the end, the contrast couldn't be clearer. Minecraft brought joy. Snow White brought backlash. One film leaned into what fans loved. The other tried to correct them. Rachel Zegler may not be solely responsible, but her role in the media circus cemented her as the face of a misfire. What's left is a fractured audience, a tarnished legacy, and a reminder to Hollywood. Sometimes the key to a billion-dollar hit is as simple as staying true to the story and knowing when to shut up and let the magic speak for itself.